Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We're going to talk about NXT in a little bit, Larson. But first, don't we have a little bit of news?
Yes, we do. This comes to us courtesy of WrestleVotes. I think we all kind of expected a New Day reunion at some point.
New Day.
Maybe in the future. But it might be happening in the very near future. So this is what WrestleVotes had to say. Quote, I've heard from a few sources an idea making the rounds. Big E moving from SmackDown to Raw in the post-SummerSlam draft while still being pushed as a singles. In essence, New Day back together without necessarily being a team. If so, E would become a fresh face for the Raw main event scene. So I want a massive main event push for Big E. Yeah. I'm sure you do too.
Yes, I think he's great.
With Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion head of the table on SmackDown, it's not going to happen on SmackDown.
Nope.
Move him to Raw. Him and Lashley is a really cool feud.
Yeah.
If Big E wins Money in the Bank, gets drafted to Raw, you have a New Day reunion, he can jump in after this Kofi Lashley feud comes to an end, even without Money in the Bank. Just bring him over.
Yeah.
He could be the one to step in, in fairly dramatic fashion in the draft to be Lashley's next feud after SummerSlam, after they probably culminate things with Kofi. And I think that'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be
really
good.
Damn awesome.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I really like the stuff they're doing right now over the past couple of weeks with Kofi, MVP, and Bob Lashley. Looking forward to their Money in the Bank match. Yeah, how crazy would that be? That'd be that. I mean, talk about popping a crowd. What if that actually all went down? I know, like in the past, what's been the most recent thing? Money in the Bank, you have to stick to your brand. Is that what it is?
No, I think you could go after whatever title you want.
Oh, yeah, because Charlotte went to NXT. That's right. You're right. Yeah. How about that? Big E wins at Money in the Bank. Kofi and Bob Lashley have their match at Money in the Bank. At the end of the match, Big E comes down, cashes in on Lashley after Kofi whoops his ass. And then he's the champion. And because he's the WWE champion, he has to stay on Raw. So it didn't even happen through the draft. I mean, this thing is saying post-draft. So, I mean, that's not going to happen. But still, it'd be cool.
So the draft, I guess, is scheduled to happen, not the Raw right after SummerSlam, but the one after that, the 30th, I believe that was the rumored date. So what if on that day, Big E is drafted? You get the moment of that huge reunion with the New Day, and right there, that same night, Big E challenges Lashley for the title and wins it there, outside of the Money in the Bank cash-in scenario.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
That'd be
Charlotte
pretty
won
awesome
the
too.
Rumble. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, she won the Rumble.
Yeah, not the Money in the Bank. Yeah, all that sounds great. The problem is, first you need Big E to go on a run to justify him winning the title. And SmackDown's done an absolutely lousy job of that. I get the feeling that Aleister Black was about to wipe the floor with Big E during their feud because they were building up Aleister Black. So I do still think that they're going to test out, okay, we want to give him a singles run. Maybe they think, well, it's unlikely that like any singles run on SmackDown is going to lead to anywhere just because of exactly what you just said. And so Raw is a much better playground for him to do that. Plus you got the New Day. I still think the New Day needs a little bit of a freshening up, to be honest with you. But
I kind of wonder though, if say they have Xavier Woods going at, put him in the King of the Ring tournament. Like, have them still as a faction, but not tagging. Have them all as a unit, but all just pursuing their own things individually,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that alone would be a means of freshening them up so they can still do segments together. But it's something different than we'd seen in the past.
Yeah. The question is, would Vince and Bruce and company be open to that level of, well, they're not together, they're not doing stuff together, so why are they going to be together? You know what I mean? Like, I could see them being weird about that stuff, but maybe not. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
I don't know.
Let's talk about Raw. I'm sorry, NXT. We talked about Raw yesterday. It's available right now on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Let's talk about NXT. I thought it was a fun show. We've got the build to Great American Bash.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
And we had the big debut, finally. And all the pieces were kind of in front of us, man. The Diamond Mine has been revealed.
They're open. They're open for business.
They're open. You got Tyler Rust. You got manager Malcolm Bivens. Now with the alpha of the group, Roderick Strong, who seemingly has decided not to retire. Who knows what was in that manila envelope. And Hideki Suzuki, who has been a coach at the Performance Center, but now evidently he's factoring into plans. Even though he was not named, he was there with them. And yeah, this is kind of cool. What'd you think of their reveal?
The only criticism I have of the actual debut was how it was captured on video. They seem to kind of forget or have forgotten the moment where Roderick Strong hits the ring. It's like off in the background. It wasn't as impactful as I was hoping it would be. You know, it wasn't even framed in a way where it's kind of intentionally done that way. I feel like someone missed a camera cue or something like that, you know?
So you're speaking of when they actually hit the ring, the camera was still on Cole and O'Reilly?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? And then in the background? See, I kind of dig that because it's like, wait a second. This is happening here because we think that nothing's happening in the ring. Now we got to go back to what's going. We think the action's over here.
I just kind of felt like they could have framed it better.
Okay, yeah. I thought that the only thing that I noticed about that, I thought that all was fine. The only thing I noticed about that was, they have to wait. We see Roderick Strong's face even in the hood, and so like he did this thing, and then they say, "Oh, that's Roderick Strong." As opposed to, wait a second, it looks like Roderick Strong right there. Oh, yeah, it is totally him. But that's just for drama's sake. But this is cool. I was kind of worried that it was going to be a bunch of nobodies. I was worried that it was going to be like they were going to take a group of Performance Center guys or gals or both, and they were going to do like some. And it's NXT. Usually they do cool stuff. And they're going to come in, and it was going to be a bunch of like, oh, who is this guy? I don't know who these people are. But instead, it's the three guys that we know. One guy, a bit of a mystery to NXT fans. Hideki Suzuki has had a storied career in Japan. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I'm a big Roderick Strong fan. In the one area that he kind of isn't great at, the promo, you got one of the best promo guys that they've been sort of sitting on, Malcolm Bivens. And it elevates that cruiserweight title, which is pretty great. This is a prize that they're going after. We've seen guys like Escobar, treat this thing like it's great. You got Kushida with it now, who he's terrific. And Kyle O'Reilly's like, hey, I don't want that title, but I want to go after the guy that I think is the best wrestler here, who happens to be the cruiserweight champion. So yeah, I think it's a good debut for the Diamond Mine. And I think it's a really good spot for Roderick Strong. We were wondering where he was going to go. Main roster. I don't, really like that for him necessarily. He'll sort of just get thrown into with the mix. But on NXT, I think it's a good spot for him. A new high profile.
Yeah, it is a good spot. And if the Diamond Mine thing, like we saw in the little promo videos, it's MMA inspired stuff. Not to say that Roderick Strong has to go full MMA. He could adapt what he does, but make it more ground-based.
Yeah, sure.
Make it more physical, a little more violent.
Yeah.
I think that'd be neat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's cool. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite the explosive episode last week with, Samoa Joe running wild. We saw him
obviously not.
Sort of once, and he just sort of, it was during the big women's tag
brawl. Directing traffic.
And he brought out like 20 security guys, and he was like, you go here, you go here, you can do that, you do that, you do that. So that was there. And then, otherwise, I don't know. A little bit of a pep in a step. Mainly, it just felt like the episode was recovering from last week still. All the stuff that was set
aftermath.
up then. Yeah, the aftermath, exactly.
Aftermath. Kicked off with Adam Cole. So, of course, last week he was told you're going to have a match. You could decide your opponent. So he comes out. And he kind of encapsulates what happened last week. He ran down that he has to face Kyle O'Reilly, Great American Bash. Joe attacked him, and he got to handpick his opponent. He says, I'm doing some thinking. I'm not picking anybody. Just because Joe is here doesn't mean I have to follow the rules. Joe's been gone from NXT for a long time, and there's a new king. It's Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah.
He says, after I embarrass Kyle O'Reilly at Great American Bash, the whole world will recognize him as the greatest NXT star of all time. Consider yourselves lucky that you got to see me. This match ain't happening, and no one can change my mind.
Yeah. And then Carmelo Hayes interrupts, and he comes out. And he's like, what's your deal? And then he does the old ruthless aggression thing. He's like, there's an old phrase, Adam Cole, you might remember, ruthless aggression. And he's like, really? That's what you got? And then he slaps Adam Cole.
Yeah, and so that changed Adam Cole's mind.
Yeah, exactly. Now he wrestles. That's a match there. Adam Cole versus Carmelo Hayes. Cole dominates pretty early. Hayes eventually finds himself beating a 10 count by like the 8 count. Comes alive, hits Codebreaker, gets more of his shit in till Cole goes for a Panama Sunrise. Instead, he eats a super kick, but then Cole doles one out himself and then does, in fact, hit Panama Sunrise to get his shit in and the win. 4-3. Pretty fun match we had here.
Yeah. After that, Frankie Monet is backstage talking to Jessie Kamea and Aaliyah. She's talking about how she's excited for their match against Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. They say it's going to be a piece of cake, and Frankie says that she's going to win in her match tonight as well. Hey, she says, we should call ourselves the Winner's Circle.
Yeah, she just literally stole it. Has this ever happened before where somebody sort of snaked a new faction from a different faction and named them before the faction even was official? This was kind of crazy.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah.
So Robert Stone walks in. He's like, "Oh, I've been looking for you." And then Frankie says, "Oh, we were just saying it's going to be an excellent night for all of us."
Yeah.
And then Frankie's dog tries to bite Robert Stone.
That was amazing because she gives high fives to Kamea and Aaliyah, and then she tries to give one to Robert Stone. And as he's doing this, the dog, thought that he was attacking her, evidently, and like snapped at him. And I was like, holy crap, Frankie Monet knows her dog. Like, that was amazing. It was pretty good. What'd you think of could you rock that suit that Robert Stone brand was rocking? Maybe when we go to Vegas, it's the blazer with like the cross thing with the bare chest.
I'm not in good enough shape for that. No
Come
way.
on, man. Let's see it.
That's too much pec.
See that beef.
Not a whole lot of beef on this guy.
Fair enough. After that, we had a Zoe Stark interview. Basically, she says, Io doesn't necessarily play well with each other, but they have respect. Io comes up, says, Zoe, I don't like you, but I respect you. And she says, yeah, there you go.
That's all we need.
That's all we need.
So let's take a break here to get a word in from the sponsor of today's show, Sheath. So Steve.
Yes.
Steve, yes, you. I know you're a boxer brief type guy, yes?
Yeah, you got that right, buddy. I like to keep my business secure, but I also need some room to let my dude parts breathe, of course.
All right, well, let me tell you about these Sheath boxer briefs I got on right now. They're designed to keep your man bits off your legs.
Oh.
See, Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. Think of it this way. Sheath's got an inverted kangaroo pouch for your Joey to keep you from sticking to your thigh.
Yeah, man, I don't like when things get sticky down there, unless otherwise intended, Larson.
All right, well, Sheath's got a modern ergonomic design that's intended to prevent skin-on-skin contact for extended periods of time, which can cause heat and sweat. Do you know what happens when you get heat and sweat and you put them together?
Yeah, man, you get the funk. You get the junk funk. Nobody likes junk funk, Larson.
Nobody wants junk funk. But Sheath thankfully prevents all that because everything down there is separate. That means no smelly undercarriage. And that means you'll chafe and readjust way less.
So if you want to keep your front area cool and comfortable, go to sheathunderwear.com/raw for 20% off your order today. That's SHEATH underwear.com/raw. Make sure to use promo code RAW at checkout.
Trust us, you'll be doing your junk a favor by going to sheathunderwear.com/raw for 20% off. Again, that's sheathunderwear.com/raw for 20% off. While we're at it, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, BetterHelp. So several years ago, while dealing with severe anxiety, I learned the importance of talking to a therapist, but also discovered that it can be extremely difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe and private online environment where your needs will be assessed. You'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online, all without having to ever sit in another uncomfortable waiting room.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches. Send your counselor messages at any time or schedule regular weekly phone or video sessions. And they made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
And you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. And before we get back to the show, let's get a word in from today's sponsor, Liquid Death. Hey, Larson.
Yeah?
Can I get a hell yeah?
Oh, hell yeah. So is this going to be your regular thing now? You're going to be doing your Stone Cold impression with a couple of cans of Liquid Death you got there.
Oh, hell yeah. Are these a couple of cans of beers? These are a couple of Stone Cold cans of Liquid Death and Mountain Water. And I'm about to hit my thirst with a bang stunner after I crack these open. And that's the bottom line.
You know, speaking of the bottom line, you know that most of those plastic bottles you think you're recycling don't end up getting recycled because recycling plastic doesn't help the bottom line of recycling companies. It's just not profitable for them.
But this here awesome looking tall boy aluminum can is infinitely recyclable because recycling centers actually make money recycling aluminum. And Liquid Death donates 10% of their profits to help kill off plastic pollution. If you want to end plastic waste in our landfills, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So if you want to drop a Stone Cold Stunner on your thirst, go to liquiddeath.com/GIR to get a free set of cozies with your first order of any case of water.
Or just grab some at any Whole Foods or 7-Eleven. Liquid Death. After that, oh yeah, that video promo LA Knight. He recounts what happens at the coronation. He's I got rid of what I don't need. I don't need an old man like DiBiase riding this gravy train. Great reference because that used to be the name of his finish. He said, then the idiots. NXT Universe chants to the moon. Hill Jack Cameron Grimes comes out. He says, I thought you were about one thing, though, Grimes, this title. But in fact, you proved you are exactly what I thought you are, 100% idiot moron. He says, when I dropped you on that ladder, that's nothing compared to how it's going to feel when I drop you on your head. Oh, hey, look at that. I got drinks. And some lady brings him drinks. Mm-hmm. Drinks for the $1 Million Champion. Courtesy of LA Knight. Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He was poolside at that same apartment complex where they do all the other poolside promos.
$1,800 a month for one bedroom. That's outrageous. Yeah. Gonna have to pawn this title.
After that, we had a John Gargano and Austin Theory promo. Gargano saying, these are exciting times. There's a new management in town, which means we need a new champ, a new face for the brand. And I'm not talking about that guy that wears the leather jackets. We need a handsome, hard-working, respectable family man. We need John Gargano. Says the 57 days that he was champ, this place thrived. It was the best NXT has ever been. And at TakeOver, he proved that Cross wasn't on his level. He outclassed him whenever they were in the ring together, and everybody knows he can out-wrestle Karrion Kross, even on his worst day. Peter Dunne, Oney Lorcan walked to the ring. Dunne asked Gargano, you're mad to think that you're the number one contender over me? And he'd tell, in Austin Theory, he's on a mic, but he starts chirping at Pete Dunne. He tells Theory to shut up. Gargano says, oh, you're trying to provoke us and start some chaos. Well, there's a new way to do things around here. We are law-abiding citizens. There are rules for a reason. We're good people. So if they want to fight, they're not going to get it from them. So Gargano puts the mic down, puts his hands up, and walks out of the ring. Starts walking up the ramp. And Theory follows and gets back on the apron and says to Pete Dunne, I'm watching you.
Does the snake
Dunne
eyes
grabs
thing,
his fingers to snap him.
Oh, bad move, Theory. Should have taken your cue from Papa John. After that, we're in the most dangerous place in pro wrestling you could be, the NXT parking lot. Grimes pulls up in his Rolls Royce. There's a couple of valets, guards, PC guys, I don't know. Anyways, they come out and they sort of ask Grimes about DiBiase out of concern. And then this American NWO Sam Gradwell asks if DiBiase's in a nursing home, all snarky. And Grimes laughs it off and then gives him a standing Superman punch.
Yeah, virtually.
And throws money on him and walks off. He had given money to the other two guys, too. So after that, Cole is they're trying to do an interview with Cole, but he's just sort of sitting there with a towel around him after his match. Regal comes up and Cole gets all mad, and he's like, hey, what's up with Joe putting his hands on me? And he's like, Samoa Joe is well within his rights because he was provoked. What's done is done, Adam Cole. He's like, oh, yeah, you think it's done? He's like, I love how you've done nothing to reprimand Joe for putting his hands on me. Well, I'm going to do everybody a favor and get out of your hair. And then he leaves.
Takes a suitcase and leaves. I like that Regal comes in and is like, Adam, I'm happy you went through your match last night, but about last week, I just want you to know there's no animosity between Joe and yourself. And Adam Cole's like, according to who?
Yeah, Regal's just walking around now, like, be like, yeah, you gonna fuck with me now?
He's got his chest puffed out.
I don't think you are.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna mess with me now, are you?
He's walking around with renewed confidence. So we get another one of those little phone charging vignettes. Still don't know who they are for.
I thought it was going to spell Knox, but clearly it's not the case. It's
not looking that way.
Steve tries to be clever with his fan theories, and look what happens. Idiot.
Yep. Then John, Gargano, and Austin Theory are backstage. They wave a cameraman to follow them to Regal's office. And John tells Austin to knock on Regal's door. Theory's got his fingers all wrapped up after Dunne broke him. And so he knocks, enters. He's like, you see what happened out there? Look, the interplay between Gargano and Regal is just about right up there with Cole and Regal in terms of just how they naturally just play off one another.
It's great.
So they're kind of bickering back and forth, and Gargano's saying, we're model citizens. Look what I got you. He pulls out a brand new pencil, puts it on Regal's desk, and says, there needs to be consequences. What is Joe going to do to Pete Dunne? Regal, are you going to get your knuckles, your brass knuckles? You got to hit him with them. And Regal goes, no. What we're going to do is have a tag match between the two of you and Lorcan and Dunne.
Oh.
They weren't happy about that.
No, they weren't happy about that. But you know what? They need to rebuild up their trust with Regal. They just can't act good for a day, give him one new pencil, and then expect him to be his hitman. After that, we had Zoe Stark and Io Shirai versus Robert Stone Brand, soon to be known as the Winner's Circle minus Robert Stone. So Robert Stone Brand basically isolates Zoe Stark. The Way comes down to check out the match. In the end, Io Shirai ends up hitting a moonsault on Jessie Kamea for the win. After the match, Io and Zoe Stark sort of have a face-off with Candice and Indy. Then Raquel and Dakota Kai come out, dropping a promo and sort of surround kind of Io and Stark on the other side of the ring. Dakota Kai says, no one's jumping the line. Those right there are ours. Ember comes out, says, I know you guys didn't forget about us. We need to remind them to kick their ass. It was kind of a corny promo, but it was whatever. It just sort of, ended up in a big brawl. Mm-hmm. So you said later on they announced the match, which is who is it going to be?
It's going to be these three teams. It'd be Indy and Candice versus Raquel and Dakota and Shotzi and Ember, I believe.
Oh, okay, but Io Shirai and Stark are out of that equation.
Maybe it is the number one contender.
Okay, that's the fourth team that I was thinking of when we were talking about there in the pre-show.
Maybe it is the number one contender match.
I was like, wait a second, how many teams were there? All right. So
I to write it down. I didn't. Oops.
So yeah, Joe comes out, brings a ton of security. They break everything up, but he doesn't have to put anybody in the clutch. I don't think they're going to do that. After that, we had a very brief Kushida Kyle O'Reilly video package, and then they sort of reiterated that they announced that at Great American Bash we're going to get Ciampa Thatcher versus MSK, and then reiterated that Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are having their straight up wrestling match at Great American
Bash.
Match
Number 2.
Yeah.
And then we had a really fun tag match between Gargano, Theory, and Oney Lorcan and Pete Dunne. This was tons of fun.
This was tons of fun.
Especially seeing The Way pretty much working babyface.
They were, yeah. There's definitely a bit of a turn from on this side of the spectrum to that side of the spectrum. Dunne just working the hell out of poor Austin Theory's hands.
Oh, man.
He gets it turned around against Oney Lorcan, tags in Johnny. Man. There's too many apron spots these days, man. When Dunne and Lorcan both did that sort of double Uranagi on the apron to Theory, that looked ugly.
That looked like it's
so Dunne has Theory in this really nasty looking submission. Gargano kicks Lorcan into them to break that up. We get a little bit of Dunne versus Gargano.
What was Oney Lorcan trying to do there?
I don't know.
Gargano wasn't in the ring. He was trying to make sure he didn't get in the ring.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Didn't work out though. Johnny goes for a slingshot spear, eats a punch instead. Lorcan and Dunne hit a tag finish move thing on Gargano for 2. Theory breaks that up. Gargano lays out Dunne on the outside and then hits one final beat on Lorcan to get the win. On the way up the ramp, though, cheesy leather jacket. Cross hits him from behind, and his cheesy smile. He walks up the ramp, and Scarlett's there. She's like, man, I can't wait till they break us up because I'm going to go to the moon. And he's going to be floundering in the main event scene, or the main roster scene on main event, not the main event.
On main event. Yeah, we'll see if that's the case. We get a Frankie Monet video package, and then Cross and Scarlett are walking backstage. Joe steps up to them, and Cross says, there are new rules, remember, unless provoked.
New rules.
And then Joe responds, but of course, champ. So he steps aside so they can pass, and looks as they walk out. And he turns around, and Pete Dunne's just standing there. They just stare at each other.
Yeah. Good
Man,
stuff.
I want them to fight so bad.
Oh, I know. It'd be great.
After that, we get a quick match between Elektra Lopez and Frankie Monet. A bit more competitive than I thought, but outcome never in dispute. Frankie Monet gets the win following a glam slam.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we get a Bronson Reed interview, which I thought was pretty solid. He's talking about how he doesn't understand Santos. He says, I smashed him against a barricade. I put him through a barricade. What more does he want? Does he want me to put him through a window, through a wall? I can put him through the entire CWC. And Hit Row walks in, and then Top Dollar says, everyone's colossal until Colossal arrives.
Ooh.
And then Ashanti and B-Fab turn towards the camera, talking directly to the camera. They call out Everrise, and then they take their leave. And Reed says, all right, bye-bye, Dollar King.
Oh, burn. This was great. Afterwards, it's earlier in the day. Everrise with ski masks on, but still their regular shirts, and Martel has his Everrise coffee mug. They're scoping out Hit Row's car. They're going to graffiti it up. They got some cans of spray paint. They go over to do that on their fancy SUV. Top Dollar opens the window, says, ski masks don't work when your name is on your shirt. They go running off, and because they've had a beef for a couple weeks, we've got that match, Everrise versus Hit Row. Not much of a match. Hit Row end up getting their finish on Martel for the win. Relatively quick affair.
Yeah, it was.
For the win for Hit Row.
I'll be honest, I kind of feel like Hit Row should already be doing way more impactful stuff than Everrise is entertaining. But I know, like Hit Row, I feel like had a ton of momentum when they debuted. And they just kind of been doing. I kind of feel like it's just been a bit of spinning wheels. Not that I expect them to shoot straight to the main event.
Yeah, they're biding their time. They're biding their time a little bit. I get it.
It's like I want Hit Row to be doing something more substantial.
I think that's what they want. They want you to want that. And then when it happens, you'll be even happier then. I guess. Yeah, we'll
I don't know. You got a Mercedes Martinez interview next. He's talking about how she doesn't make friends easily. And then she, like Tian Shaw, wants to go to war with her. She'll do it with or without a partner because there's a mixed tag match that's been scheduled. And then she gets attacked by Xia Li. Boa steps in, and then Jake Atlas comes from out of frame and boots him in the head. And then he's kind of standing over Boa, and he says, well, it looks like I just joined the fight.
Looks like I just joined the fight. No, man, he's so nerdy. He has his little nerdy glasses on, short shorts, and the blazer. Looks like I just joined the fight.
So
welcome to the party. He should have just said, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, welcome to the party, pal. So that's going to be the tag match, I think, next week. They said it's going to be next week.
Yeah, that should be fun. Jake Atlas is a hell of a wrestler. It's just funny.
He's a really good wrestler.
Because he's kind of dorky looking. It's like he coming in delivering these action movie lines, which nobody should be asked to say that kind of stuff. It's great, though. I mean, it was entertaining. Who cares? After that, we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida. Both these guys obviously really wanted this match. Kushida posted this lengthy statement about it afterwards. It was very heartfelt, and
they've wrestled each other in Japan, I believe.
Yeah, this is all really good stuff. I mean, I'm not huge on, if they're gonna make the cruiserweight title like this big thing. I'm not huge on, it's a non-title fight. Kyle O'Reilly, they want for the main event scene. He gets this sort of sneaky win on Kushida. I kind of feel like maybe a time limit draw would have been more appropriate here,
or have the run-in.
Yeah, but then I would have been complaining about
the finish to the match.
I would have been complaining about this game goes 20 minutes and then like you just break it up. I hate that.
I know I don't like that for run of the mill interference, but if you're trying to debut somebody new and have them make an impact,
that's not terrible. So anyways, Kyle O'Reilly ends up rolling up Kushida while Kushida was trying to get that hoverboard lock on 4-3.
This did have a lot of really good technical stuff going on.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was really fantastic stuff. After the match, Cole attacks Kyle O'Reilly. They start brawling to the back. And then Roderick Strong attacks Kushida along with Tyler Russ and Hideki Suzuki and Malcolm Bivens. They pick up the Cruiserweight title. That's what they're going after. So that's cool. Really strong Cruiserweight division. It seems to be what they're aiming for. And I think that's really fantastic.
Same. Totally.
Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions. It would appear that I totally neglected to put up an NXT QA thread. My apologies for that one. I don't know what I was thinking there. So yeah, Twitch, can you just hit us with a lot of questions?
Mr. Sinister asking, will Marina join Diamond Mine?
I don't really know what she's doing lately. When's the last time we saw her? We saw her not that long ago. I'm trying to remember where though.
Yeah, I don't recall either.
I'm gonna try this.
All right. What do you think about that? Jorge D with Triple H's apparent love of factions. When will we get Triple H's personally made faction of metalheads?
Oh, that's good.
Who will be in it?
Wow. What would they be? What would they be called? I mean, it'd be named after a Motorhead song.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously Ace of Spades.
Who would be in it? Who's wrestlers that seem like they listen to metal in NXT?
Let's see here. Every single one of these are like great names for like all these Motorhead songs. They're all great names. Yeah, Overkill, Born to Raise Hell, Killed by Death, No Class, I'm So Bad. That's not a good one. Let's see, Hellraiser. Oh, that's a good one. The Road Crew. That's a bit cheesier, I guess.
Yeah.
I like Killed by Death. That's great.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
Bomber. Dancing on Your Grave. Ooh, Iron Fist. That's a cool name for a crew right there. We are Iron Fist.
You got to bring Damian Priest back to NXT and he could be in it.
Yeah. Okay, so here we got some chat ideas here. Shotzi. I think Shotzi totally would belong in that group. Loomis. I could see Loomis in like a metal thing.
Loomis, yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, Ordile says
Killian Dane.
Oh man, that dude totally should. Yeah, that's good. Have him ditch Drake Maverick already. Killian Dane, that's good. Oh, the Killmasters. There you go. That's good. I like that. That's a solid crew right there. Dane, Loomis, Shotzi. Shotzi could be like the mouthpiece. Because Loomis and Dane, Dane's a whatever talker.
Jeffrey Nguyen says, is there anything cooler than throwing a punch and then throwing money at the person you punched?
Is there anything cooler than that? I don't like just giving away money, even if I have a lot of it. If that guy's a jerk, I don't want to give him money.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's being, to a degree, I know he just got punched, but he's getting rewarded for being a jerk.
Like, I prefer punch a guy and then spit on him.
There you go.
That's, you can't trade that for anything. Spit. It's just gross.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's really disrespectful when you spit on somebody.
Exactly.
Dangum Q. So will we have a triple threat for the North American Championship between Santos Escobar, Bronson Reed, and one of Hit Row?
Oh, it's got to be Swerve, right?
You'd think so, but it was Top Dollar who got up in Bronson Reed's face yesterday.
Is Swerve going to go after the top title? Bronson Reed goes North American. Him and Adonis go for the tag title.
Maybe. White Brownie, how would Diamond Mine have introduced themselves to Walter and Imperium? Oh, they all got chopped.
Yeah, I'm sure Bivens would just tweet at Walter.
Yeah, I think so. Andy Jocelyn, which undercard, mid-card wrestlers in NXT will main event WrestleMania?
Which
undercard or mid-card? I mean, technically, like Pete Dunne's a mid-carder right now.
Yeah.
So is Swerve.
Who will main event a WrestleMania? So nobody that's had like the top title. I could see. I mean, he is a mid-card champion. I could see Bronson Reed main eventing a WrestleMania.
What about Austin Theory?
Yeah, he's super young. I could totally see that. I could see that.
Shane's birthday tweet. Besides Frankie Monet, what other women's NXT wrestler has the presentation to be the next NXT champion?
Man, I thought, who was her opponent? Electra something or another?
Electra Lopez?
She had a great presentation. Like I was like, I think she was like, what was the segment? The cheesy Bobby Lashley wedding thing. Didn't like his ex-wife show up or something like that?
Yeah.
Sean, I think that was the same person.
Really?
At least Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out a picture of that and was like, she's come back. And I think that's who that was.
Oh, wow.
I think. She had a great look to her, though.
Yeah. Rocco, if NXT stars from present and past were put into factions of old movie monsters, who would be your picks? Obviously, Priest is a vampire, and Cameron could be a wolf man.
That's good.
Shotzi from the swamp monster from the Black Lagoon.
Cross could be the Frankenstein, and then Scarlet would be Bride of Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. That's good. Mm-hmm. Who would be the mummy?
John Cena. I know John Cena's not in NXT, but he'd be the Invisible Man.
Who'd be the mummy? Oh, Loomis.
Yeah.
He'd be the mummy.
It's good.
I don't think the mummy talks.
It's good.
Oh, here we go. Ordile says, Ari Sterling was the guy that got punched by Grimes. He's been on 205, and I'm guessing he's who Grimes will face next week. Okay. Yeah, I just thought he was like, who's this Gradwell guy? Yogurt.
White Brownie says, Power Rank 5 NXT wrestlers who could join Diamond Mine as the third man. Now, I think we're both under the impression that Hideki Suzuki is the third man.
He's the third man.
Because he had the sweatsuit on as well, along with Rust and Strong.
Right.
Making me think they're the wrestlers. Malcolm Bivens will be the manager.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But if that's not the case, what if Suzuki is not only a trainer at the Performance Center, he's Diamond Mine's trainer.
The Diamond Mine trainer, yeah.
Who could be the third man, brother?
Get the third man.
Kona Reeves.
That's good. I was going to say Bobby Fish, but that's a terrible answer.
I mean, Bobby Fish, if it's an MMA thing, that works for Bob Fish.
They should do a thing where maybe Roderick Strong comes out to save Bob Fish, and he's like, hey, man, do you want to join the Diamond Mine? No, I'm good. I'm doing my own thing.
All right, well, see you down the road.
I got this heavy bag at home that I've been working out on. I put faces on it. Like real faces? No. Like printouts.
Oh, and you fight him, huh?
Wait, did you think I was going to put real human faces on that?
I mean,
You said it.
Said faces, so.
Oh, man. All right, anyways, I want to go watch Quizzlemania. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.